Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video tutorial, I will explain in Django web applications how to join multiple tables, the three tables I want to join in a MySQL database. After that, I want to display those records into a list view element. And after I reload the browser, we got here a new output. Notice the country name, state name and city name. These three columns are from three different tables. The country name is from the country table, and state name from the state table and city name from the city table. These three tables I have joined using store procedure and display in a single list view element. So this is our store procedure name, C name, S name and city name. That's it. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before creating a new Django web application, first we'll check the tables in MySQL, which is a PHP MyAdmin database. For this example, I have taken three tables. The first table is a country, which contains two columns, CID and CNAME. The CID column is a country ID and CNAME column is a country name. Right now, this country table contains only three countries. Now, the second table is a state table, contains three columns. SID is an auto-generated column, SNAME is a state name, and CID is a country ID. And the last table is a city table, which contains three columns. City ID, which is an auto-generated column, city names, and SID, which is a state ID. Here one important point, when we want to join tables, at least one column must be identical or similar between two tables. If you notice here in the country table, the CID column, and in the state table we have CID column, and in the state table we have SID column, which is a state ID. And if you notice in the city table, there are three columns. So the last one is the SID, which is a state ID column. So with the help of these identical columns, I will join these three tables and display those records into a list view element, HTML element. Here I am using the stored procedures to join the records. So first let's create a new stored procedure in the sample DB database. In the procedures, let's open the procedures folder. To create a stored procedure in PHP MyAdmin, come to the bottom and notice here the add routine, click that one. And the routine name is list view join tables is my stored procedure name. I don't require any parameters because I'm not inserting any data. So I'm deleting this drop parameter, and in the definition I am adding the query to join the tables. So select the table names are the column names I want to join. In country table I'm using CNAME. So here where it's gone, here CNAME, SNAME, and the last one is a city table. So let me expand this tables folder, the city. I'm opening in a new tab, and in the city table I'm adding the column name city name. So let's add that one, city name, column city name, from the table, the country table. This is the country table. Inner join state table on between these two tables, the column common name is a CID column. If you notice in the country table, CID column. So let's add country, the table name dot, notice here the column names from the country. So CID is equals to state table state dot CID. So between country and state, the CID columns are common, and we require the state table. Again inner join, the table name is a city table, on state table dot. In the state table and city table we have the column names. SID is the column name, is equals to city table dot SID. Let's execute to create this stored procedure. Click go. Oops, here we got an error. The inner join is separate word. Sorry for that. Let's create the stored procedure. And the stored procedure is created successfully. Notice the list view join tables. Let's execute the stored procedure. Execute. Go to top. So notice here, and notice we have just called this stored procedure, which contains the results, the CNAME column from the country table, SNAME column from the state table, and city name column from the city table. Now let's call this stored procedure in Django web application to display this data, these three columns, in a list view element. Before creating a new Django web application, first we'll create a new folder. I'm creating a new folder in local disk D drive. Right click the mouse, select new, then select folder. And here we got the folder. Let's give the folder name is a list view Django join tables is my folder name. Let's browse this folder. Right now this folder contains empty. Now we'll create a new Django web application in this folder. I'm using Visual Studio Code to create a Django web application. But before creating a Django web application, first we'll add the folder name which we have created in the local disk D drive. Go to File, open folder, and then select the folder name which we have created. Select folder. And here the folder is successfully added to our Visual Studio Explorer panel. At the right side we got the welcome page. Now in this folder we'll create a new Django web application. For that, open view and go to terminal. And in the terminal, which is nothing but a command prompt, notice here we are prompting with the path our folder name. So let's create a Django web application. Django-admin start project, and my project name is a list view display. Enter. List view display is my application name. Django spelling wrong, sorry for that. Django-admin start project list view display. Enter. And here the application is created successfully into our folder. Let me expand this application. If you notice in this application, there is one subfolder called the list view display, which is the same as our application name, and one manage.py. Let me expand this subfolder also. Now in the subfolder contains some necessary Python pages, settings.py, urls.py. So all these Python pages and folders has been created automatically when I create this project list view display. Now after that, let's check this application, Django application, is working or not on the browser. So cd change directory, I am adding my application name to my path. Then Python manage.py, run server, enter. And notice here, after I run the server, we don't have any issues, and below that we got our web server link. So let's browse the web server link, Ctrl plus mouse click to browse this application. And here we got the output of our application, which is a default web page Django. Now let's start the coding part. Now let's exit from the server, Ctrl C. Now let's add a new templates folder to our application. The templates folder is for when we want to render our HTML pages. We require one templates folder. So select the application name, I click the mouse, click new folder. The folder name is the templates, enter. Now in this templates folder we'll add our HTML pages. Again right click the mouse, new file, sorry, it's not new folder, it's new file. The file name is index.html, enter. And here we got our index.html page. Now before adding the list view element to this page, first we'll add one models page, the Python page, in the subfolder of our application. Right click the subfolder name, click new file. The file name is a models.py, enter. Now the models page contains a class with our properties, the column names I want to display on the browser in the list view. So before that, first we have to import the necessary class from Django.db import. I'm importing the models class. After that, let's declare a class. The class name is a listview. Listview show is a class name, and model, M is capital here, model colon. Now in this class I am defining the properties. The first property is a CNAME, which is a country name. Models dot char field, the data type, the length of the size is 100. Then the second column name is the sname, which is a property, the same data type. And the last one is the city name is equals to models.char field. I am adding the CNAME, sname and city name from these three tables: city name, CNAME, sname and city name. So after adding the models class, next we require the views to add the logic to call the store procedure. Again, right click the subfolder of our project, click new file. The file name is a views.py, enter. And here we got the views.py. Now before adding the coding part to call the store procedure, first we will import the necessary classes from Django.shortcuts import. I'm importing a class from the shortcuts is a render class. The render class, when we want to browse the HTML pages in a Django web application, we require this render class. After that, we need to import this class name also from this models page. From the models class page is inside the subfolder. So listview display dot models import. I'm importing the class name of the models. Then we require the connection also from Django.db import connection. So after adding the necessary classes, now let's declare a function listview display data is my function name, request colon. After that, now in this function, when we want to call a store procedure, we require a cursor method. So to add the cursor method, for that we require this connection class. So let's display the variable cursor, connection dot cursor method. So now we'll execute the call store procedure. Cursor dot execute method between double quotes. I'm calling my store procedure name, this one, list view tables, list view join table, the store procedure name. Then declare a variable results results is equals to cursor dot fetch all method. So the fetch all method gets all the records, all the data from this store procedure. Then last one, this function return, I want to render requesting the web page between single quotes. Our web page is the index.html, comma. I'm declaring a dictionary which contains key and values to display records. So between curly brackets, between double quotes, here the display key is our model class name, colon, and the values we are getting from this results object. Result. That's it. Let's save this file, save all. Then we need to configure the urls.py also. Open urls.py. In the urls.py, first let's import the views page from dot import views. Then in the URL patterns, path between single quotes, comma, views dot. In the views, I am adding this function name because I want to requesting this template index.html with the help of this function name. That's it. We have configured our URL patterns also. Let's save this file. And now the most important step, we need to configure the application, the templates, and our database. These three settings, let's open settings.py page. The first will install our application between single quotes. I'm adding my application name, which is a listview display. So make sure you give the correct application name in this install underscore app. Then in the templates, notice in the directories, when we want to render our template HTML pages, we need to join this templates folder with our base directory. So os.path.join method. This join method takes two parameters. The first one is the base directory and the templates, our HTML pages folder name. This folder name I am adding here. Then come to the database section. If you notice in this databases, the default database is SQLite 3 for Django applications. But our database is MySQL. And the name, let's delete this default one. Here the name is our database name. Switch back to our the database name is a sample DB. So let's add that one, sample DB. Then we'll add our user, which is the root, comma. Then the password we require, password, colon. Here the password I'm leaving blank because I don't have any password to log into my database. If you have any password, please enter between these single quotes. Then we require the host also. Host. The host is a local host, comma, and we require the port number of our MySQL. The port number of MySQL is 3306. This one, let's add that one also. Between single quotes 3306. And the last one, we require the options, colon, between curly brackets, in single quotes I'm adding init underscore, let's add with the small letters, init underscore command, colon, between double quotes I'm setting SQL mode is equals to, between single quotes, strict underscore trans underscore strict, strict underscore trans underscore tables. comma. That's it. We have added our connection string, MySQL connection string, in this database section. Let's save this settings.py page, save all. Now let's call doc type, close the HTML tag. Inside the HTML, I'm adding the header section. In the header section, I'm adding the title. The title is TITLE. Title is list view display. And then let's add the body tag. In the body tag, I'm adding center tag. In the center tag, I'm adding h1, how to display multiple tables into a single list view element. List view element. H2 Django web tutorials. Then after the headings, I'm adding the horizontal line. After the horizontal line, I'm adding UL unlisted. Then I'm adding the list view LI. In the list view, first, to display the records from the store procedure, we require the for. Now before list views, before li tags, I'm adding for loop to fetch the records from the store procedure. Between curly brackets, percentage, for loop, result is an object in the data we are getting from this models class. So let's copy this models class name listview show, paste here, and I'm closing the list view for loop and for. Then between double curly brackets, the expression result dot, here I am adding 0. Notice here I have added 0 because I am fetching the records from the store procedures. So 0 is, if you notice, in our store procedure we have 3 columns: CNAME, SNAME and CITYNAME. The CNAME column is a 0, the index value is 0, SNAME is 1 and CITYNAME is 2. So let's add that one. Curly bracket, copy this one, paste here and paste here. So 1 is a state name, 2 is a city name. Then after that I am adding horizontal line. That's it, we have done the complete coding part. Let's save this file, save all. What we'll do is we'll add some labels also. This is the country name. Next one is a city name, state name, and city name. That's it. Let's save this file, save all. Now we'll run the server. Oops, here I got an error, max length, open models.py. Sorry friends, it's a length, length. Let's save this file again, save all. Let's come out, run the server. See, after I run the server, we don't have any issues. Below is our web server name. We have already opened here our web server, which is a Django web framework. This is the default web page of our web application. Now when I reload this project application, so here we got the output. Let's change some styles here. Index.html. This center tag, we'll add here at the top after the horizontal line. And if you notice here, the dots, I don't want to dots here. Style, list type, list style type is none. That's it. Let's save this index.html, save all. Now we'll check the final output. Now let's reload the browser. And after I reload the browser, we got here a new output. Notice the country name, state name and city name. These three columns are from three different tables. The country name is from the country table, and state name from the state table, and city name from the city table. These three tables have joined using store procedure and display in a single list view element. So this is our store procedure name: C name, S name and city name. That's it.